Boker Tov would like to dedicate this week's Parsha Shavua to say thank you and to wish Mazel Tov to Judy and Joseph Berger, who are sponsoring this recording, and it's celebrating with much joy and thanks to Hashem the recent wedding of their granddaughter Ilana Fortinsky to Itai Goldberg. And I'd just like to add on to the wonderful grandparents, Judy and Dr. Joseph, that what I'm about to say is not so much wedding related. It's got to do with Dafka funeral and eulogy. And b'chol ofen, we wish them and the young couple that they should have a lot of simcha in their lives. V'yizku livnot bait ne'eman b'Yisrael. Parshat Chayei Sarah, and I'm continuing with a series of Spot the Difference, in which I try to find something which is unique in the Torah. What I mean by that is to take things which are basically all humanity and other religions do, and at the same time to show what is like unique about a certain feature or something that the Torah says about that common behavior. And again, as I've said many, many times, I'm not trying to find something which is different. I'm trying to find, obviously, there's differences between the various cultures. I'm trying to find something which is unique. And as I said before in the other videos, that Vadai, there has to be something unique, because something which has got its source in human behavior, it's exactly that, something which is human. In the Torah, something which is divine, it comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so they willy-nilly, just ipso facto, there has to be a total difference, something which is unique. So today I want to speak about what is written in the beginning of Parshat Chayei Sarah, the funeral arrangements that Avraham Avinu did for his wife Sarah. And this is common to all humanity. There are different customs. Some people bury, some people cremate, some people they cremate and throw the ashes to the sea or whatever. But they're always, from time immemorial, there were always minhagim. There were always different ways in which there was a funeral. So the Torah says, "Vatamot Sarah bekiryat arba hi Chevron be'eretz Canaan." That Sarah died passed away in Hebron. And then it says, "Vayavo Abraham nispod l'Sorah v'lifkota." Abraham came to eulogize her, to cry for her, and then afterwards we read in the Torah the negotiations that Abraham Avinu went through in order to secure a burial plot for Sarah Ibenu. So what is the difference? What is unique between the way that Jews fulfill the mitzvah or the way we conduct the funeral, on which generally humanity conducts a funeral? I think that one of the main differences, there are many, but one of the main differences is in how we assess and what role does the factor of a eulogy have in the part of the process of a funeral. In every culture, you have people who, at the time of a funeral, because of it's a very emotionally charged time, that people now and again that they eulogize, they say words of homage. But over here in the Torah, it says that Vayavo Abraham lispod l'Sarah v'lifkota. The Torah is saying that the essential part of the kfura is the eulogy. It's not something which is like optional. It's something that we learn from Avraham Avinu was absolutely essential. And it's so essential that the Gemara in Masechet Sotah seems to hint that even HaKadosh Baruch Hu, at the time that he buried Moshe Rabbeinu, that even he was engaged in hespedim, in eulogizing Moshe Rabbeinu. We find the Gemara in Masechet Sotah there on Daf Yud Gimel. The Gemara brings 5 opinions what pasuk allegorically was said by Hashem to, and the Mefashim, most of the Mefashim, what they say is that these the various opinions on which pasuk is said, was in order to convey that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that God himself eulogized Moshe Rabbeinu. So you can see that the eulogy in Judaism and the words of homage and eulogy generally in humanity are like on a different plane completely. The eulogy is not something optional. The eulogy is something which is essential to the whole funeral, so much so that even God himself eulogized Moshe Rabbeinu, which of course that's not shayach. It doesn't apply to any other culture. That's why we see a very interesting thing in Shulchan Aruch. In Shulchan Aruch, there are all laws about eulogy. It's not just about an emotional outpouring in which we speak about the person who's deceased. There's lots of halachot of laws on what are the principles and how we're supposed to eulogize and when we're supposed to eulogize. For example, one of the most important halachot, or two halachot which come together, is that a person's not allowed to exaggerate when it comes to the eulogies. And why not? Why shouldn't a person now say as much as he wants emotionally about the person who's deceased? And the Gemara explains in Masechet Brachot and Samach Bet and other places, because when a person exaggerates in the eulogy, so then that brings in its wake, it triggers off that in the heavenly court, they hear what has been said about the deceased, and then they checked what actually his life was like. And when they see that these two things, that there's a discrepancy in between, that triggers off and sets in motion a process of judgment, of din, that maybe this person isn't deserving of this, that, and the other. So in the Shulchan Aruch, it says we must very, very careful not to exaggerate when it comes to the matter of a eulogy. And that's why many of the great Talmidei Chachamim, what they did was they wrote in their will that there are other reasons as well, but this is one of the reasons that they said that at their funeral they shouldn't be eulogized. Now that's something which is unique in the whole idea of the way we conduct a funeral and in which the way we look at a eulogy. And on the other hand, you see there's Gmarot, in which if a person doesn't eulogize enough, so then they're lacking, or the eulogy was deficient, so the people were punished for that as well. The Gemara specifically says that the King Saul wasn't eulogized adequately by Bnei Yisrael, and as a result, a famine broke out years later. So you see over here that the eulogy just isn't like an emotional outpouring, which is obviously something which is humane, something which humanity, everybody does that like naturally, but you see that there's a total different way of looking at eulogy, and hence there are laws about how we're supposed to eulogize. So I just want to end off with one or two other halachot, or one or two other points, and that is the point of the eulogy. What is the point of the eulogy? I mean, someone would say, what's the point? It's simple. It's that we want to speak, give the person who passed away to say words of praise. That's correct. We want, according to the Gemara and other places, we want to maybe say words in the eulogy that would inspire the people, not only to appreciate the loss, but in order that we should learn from that person's life. That's another aspect of the eulogy. And then it seems to be that what covers all these aspects is, and this is written by the Meshech Chochmah, is that, and also by the Keren Orah, to Masechet Sotah, and that is that the point of the eulogy is as the person leaves this world, is to capture that which was his essence or her essence. What made this person unique? And you can see, therefore, that the whole matter of eulogy, and with all the halachot accompany, that it's an extremely, extremely difficult thing to do. That the person speaking about the niftar, that they should say something which would capture their uniqueness and their essence. And that's why the Meshech Chochmah says that when a person who does a eulogy, he should know the person from his childhood, ideally. He should know the person from his childhood to the time that the person passed away. It's because only otherwise, how could you able to capture and to reflect upon who the person really is? And therefore, people who only know someone from a certain segment of their life, they're not doing justice according to the halakha on how they should eulogize. It's interesting that according to the Meshech Chochmah, and this is what I'd like to end off with, he says that actually Moshe Rabbeinu was not eulogized by Hashem, or he was not eulogized at all. And the reason was because there was no one in Am Yisrael who could capture what the essence of Moshe Rabbeinu was. They saw that he was unique. They saw that he was a person who went to accept the Torah 40 days without eating, without drinking. They saw all the great miracles. And even with all that, that didn't capture who he really was. And no one, because of his great, great stature, was able to deliver a hesped. That's why the Torah says that they cried for Moshe Rabbeinu with his loss, but it doesn't say that they must beat him. It doesn't say that they eulogized him. So in short, what we asked was, in every single culture and every single, when people pass away, there's a funeral. And sometimes it's accompanied with a eulogy or not. And from here, the Torah says the very first time when the Torah speaks about a funeral, it speaks about the importance of that Abraham first came, Vayavo Abraham lispod l'Sarah. He came in order to eulogize her and in order to cry for her. And which is saying that the essence of the eulogy is to capture exactly what the essence of the person was, what made this person unique over any other human being that was created. And that's what makes it so difficult, and that's why there's so many halachot which we have to adhere to when we're in that situation that we have to eulogize.